Right. Good afternoon. So we started table, and up to now we have used some formattings which can be applied in a table. During the last class, maybe later part of the last class, we used an important part in table, which is for merging the cells. Right. So in a table, cells can be merged horizontally as well as vertically. For merging the cells, we used row span and col span. So I applied both attributes in a single table, but that may not be enough for get a good idea. So I need one more exercise to familiar with, right? So this time the table is slightly large, and that may have more than 2 or 3 cell merges, right? Okay, look here. This is the table which I want to create. This is the table. So of course there is a caption. Let's say timetable. Okay, in the first row we have 3 cells. This is day 1. Everything is a heading, right? Day 2, day 3. Okay, so this is the first row. Look at the second row. Right, look in the second row, I want to merge these 2 cells. Okay, these 2 cells are merged and the content must be displayed here. So this is ICT. Okay, then this one, there is something, right? Maths. Right, so this is the table. Look here. Right, you have a caption and the table, right? So before we create a table in HTML, we have to identify the number of rows, because in HTML a table is created row by row. So identifying the rows, number of rows is very important, right? How many rows are here? How many rows are in this table? How many? 6. Is 6 correct? Siva Darshan. How many rows are there? 6. Gajani, how many rows are here? 6. Arabias, how many rows?
6.
Right. So I asked this question because some of you may have some issues in identifying the rows, because see in some maybe in one side cells are merged. So since cells are merged, that may be difficult to identify. Right? Look at the left side. Here, if you count in the left side, you may think 1, 2, 3, 4. So you may think that it has 4 rows. But look at the other side. There it clearly shows, right? Look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 rows. So, you know, identifying the number of rows is very, very important. It's a key factor, because As I said earlier, table is created row by row. Okay, so it's fine. We have 6 columns, sorry, 6 rows and 3 columns, right? Okay, let's start creating. So I just want to start from the body, not want to write the tags which are above the body, right? So let's start from body. Okay, this is body. So straight away we can start the table. So this is table. Yes, of course, border is needed. So put the border equal, okay, 1. It's a familiar line. Table space border. Border is the attribute. Okay, I want the border size as 1 pixel, right? Okay. Look at that. You have the caption. So once the table tag is started, it has to be taken, right? That caption. So in the next line, it is caption. Okay, put the caption. But here the caption is timetable. So write that. And close the caption. Okay, close the caption. Right. So now has to create the first row. This is the method, right? First row has to be created, right? So it is TR, table row, TR. So look at the board carefully because you have some questions, because I already explained. So you definitely have some questions. Look here, TR. So I'm creating this row, right? I'm creating this row. So TR. Look at that. In the first row, there are 3 cells displayed, but every cell has a heading inside. That is not just a data, that is a heading. So to create a cell with the heading, it is TH, right? So let's create the first cell with heading. So it is TH, table header. What's the heading there? Day 1, right? So put the day 1 and then close it. Okay. So then we want another cell. So this is TH again, because that is also heading. And day 2, close the TH. Okay. There is one more cell in the same row. So again, there is a TH that is also heading. So day 3, close the TH. Right. Now the first row is over. So close the TR. Okay, close the TR. So don't forget, this is for the first row, right? I just want to label in order to differentiate. So this set of coding belongs to the first row. Okay, right. So let's go to the second row. Now we have to create this row. Before you start creating a row, you need to focus on the cells. I told you to focus because there may be some cells merged, right? So you have to analyze that one, right? Look at that. In the second row, these 2 cells, which means the first 2 cells are merged. Okay, right. Look carefully. So this is TR again. This is for the next row, right? Second row, TR. Right. Look here. So as we discussed in the previous class, in every row, first cell has to be created first, right? In each row, the first cell has to be created. So now we are in the second row. So what is the cell to be created now? This one. So I just want to put a dotted line in order to show that, right? In order to differentiate that one, right? So I have to create this cell, not the second one, this one. But to create that cell, we cannot put TD because that's data, right? TD, ICT. This is wrong because look at that. ICT is not only in this cell, it is displayed in both cells. So since it is TD ICT, definitely it will show only ICT in this cell, but this is not right. Okay, so what we have to do? Yes, we are creating this cell. So while we are creating this cell, we have to create another cell which is in another column. I repeat it. While creating this cell, have to create or have to merge another cell which is in another column. Okay, so this cell and the other cell have to be merged. Okay, but which cell is being created now? This one, right? This is the one being created now. But while it is created, the next one has to be created. So what is the idea? Is it col span or row span? Which attribute is needed?
Col span.
It is col span, right? Don't memorize anything, understand the fact. So it is col span because we are spanning the column. We are merging two columns, right? So TD space col span equal, how many cells are merged? 2, right? 2. Look again, TD col span 2. And then the word ICT. Then close the tag TD. Clear? If it is written, the word ICT will be displayed in left side, which means left alignment. But here I want in center. So we discussed that one in the previous class. In order to show this one in center position, you have to use another attribute called align, right? Align equals center. But I don't want to include that one because it takes some space. That's why ignore that one. But remember that this is in center alignment. Every cell, by default, every cell has the data in left alignment. But if you want to display anything in center, definitely the align attribute used, right? So how to use that? We have already used col span 2, then leave a space, right? Leave a space, align equal center, align equal center. But I just skip that one, right? So remember, that is important. Okay, so now this is okay. Don't forget the fact that we are in the second row, right? We are still in the second row. So you have to check whether the second row has any other cells. Look at that. There is another cell. So that is a single cell, right? So let's create that TD. That has math. So it is math. Close the TD. Okay. So now the second row also over. So close that. TR. Okay. So this set of coding is for second row. Okay. This is for second row. Right. So let's go to the third row. This is the third row. I'm pointing the rows on the right side because on the right side pointing is easy. Because on the left side, cells are merged. So that may be difficult. So, but on the right side, things are simple, right? So now we have to create the third row. So again, a TR, right? TR, table row, right? So as usual, the first cell in the third row has to be created now. So what is the first cell? I put a dot here, somewhere here. This one. The top bar, right? This cell has to be created. So, but note that cell is not a single cell. How many cells are merged here?
3.
Yes, you have 3 cells. You can check them on the other side, right? So it clearly shows that 3 cells are merged. But now at the moment we are creating that particular cell, which means the first cell in the third row. But while it is being created, the other 2 cells must be created. We are creating this cell. At the same time, we have to create the next one and even the next one also, right? So, these 3 cells are in 3 different rows. This cell is in the third row. Maybe the next one is in the fourth row. Maybe the next one is in the fifth row. Right? Since they belong to different rows, you have to use a row span, right? So TR, then in the next line, it is TD, row span. Okay, row span equal 3. 3, because 3 cells are merged. Okay, don't forget, this is for this highlighted cell, right? We are creating this highlighted cell, but that is not a single cell that has been merged with other two cells. So altogether you have three cells merged. So TD row span 3. Okay, now give the content. It is English. Close the TD. Okay, close the TD. Right, so it's over. We are in the third row, right? So you have to check whether the third row has any other cells. Look at that. You have two more cells. ICT is the next cell in the third row. Next one, science. Both are single cells, right? So it's simple to create them. Next one, ICT. So TD, ICT, TD. Okay. Then you have science 2. So next one, TD again. Science, TD. Okay. All right. So that's that row also over. So this is TR, closing TR. So this block of coding belongs to the third row. Okay. Right. Next, we have to create the fourth row, this one. Okay. Have to create this row. Look there. If you check this row, you can easily find, okay, I put some dotted lines there. I put a dotted line. So now you see in the in the fourth row, this is the first cell, maybe the cell which has English, but not English is not in that particular cell. It is common, right? It is common for 3 cells. But now this is the first cell which has to be created now. Was it created earlier, or should we create it again? Was it created earlier?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. At the time when we created this cell, we created this one also. That's why we have put this one, right? Number 3. So this particular cell has been created. So no need to create it again, right? So that's okay. So now go to the second cell in the fourth row, right? Don't forget that we are in the fourth row, right? Second one, this one. So now I have to create, I put a dotted line here, right? I have to create this cell. So it is TR again. Okay, TR, this one, right? TD. TD. But look again, this cell, right? I'm talking about that one, right? The above cell. Look, I put a dotted line. So above the dotted line, there is a cell, right? That has to be created now. But that is not a single cell. That is merged with another cell. Okay, this highlighted cell is merged with another cell. So while this highlighted cell being created, you have to merge another one. Okay, so here also we have to use row span because these two cells belong to two different rows. Okay, so TD row span equal to, because two cells are merged. And now give the content. What's the content? Math, right? So you can type math and close the TD. Okay, close the TD. Now this cell is okay. Still we are in the fourth row, right? So check whether the fourth row has any other cells. Yes, there is another cell in the fourth row, that is math. So create that. So since it is a single cell, it's too easy to create. TD math TD. Right? So now fourth row also over, right? So close the TR. So this is okay, this is for fourth row. Let's go to the fifth one. This is the fifth. So again, TR. Right, look. Here, the first cell would be this one. in the fifth row, the first cell would be this one, but look, that was created. Okay, that was created because when we created this cell, we have created 3 cells together. So this was created. So no need to create it again. So leave that. So what is the next cell in the fifth row? This one. This one, maybe this one, right? That below to dot, this one. But look, this has been created, right? Just now we have created this one. Because look at that, when we created this one, we put 2, row span 2. So this was created. So in the fifth row, the first 2 cells were already created. So no need to create them again. So check whether the fifth row has any other cells. Yes, that has only one more cell. So let's create that one. So only one cell, right? TD, ICT. Close the TD. Okay, that's it. So that row is over, TR, closing TR. So this small portion of coding belongs to fifth row. Okay, fifth row. Finally, you have to create the last row, this one. So again a TR, table row. Okay, TR. Right, look, in this particular row, you have 3 cells. But look at the first cell, that is a single cell, right? So you have to create that one, TD, okay, TD, ICT, TD. That's okay, TD, ICT, TD. But look at that English. So here, okay, what is the next cell in the fifth, in the last row? This one, right? I put a dotted line here. This is the one, not the other one, right? This one. But we have to create this one. But now, look, this is not a single cell. This is merged with another one. But that is not in the next row. That is in the next column, similar to this one. So while this cell is created, is being created, the other has to be created too, right? So this is call span. So next line would be, right? Next line would be TD. I think you can see that, right? Okay, I don't have enough space, but I can manage. TD space call span. Okay, TD space call span equal to TD call span equal to. Here also the alignment is important. Look at that, it is in the center position. So better use the attribute align equal center. But I ignore that one. So TD call span 2, then give the word English. Okay, close the TD. Close the TD. Finally, TR. Okay, close the TR and then close the table. Finally, the table has to be closed. Check the table and the output, and if you have any question, ask me. If you are unable to understand anything, ask me. This belongs to the last row, right? This portion belongs to the 6th row. So cell merge is not a difficult task or difficult thing, but all you need to have is the organization idea. You have to understand how these row span and call span are organized and used. That skill is important. Because see, as I think I discussed with you earlier, so most of the students often confused in exam whether to apply this call span and row span to TR or TD. So they often they often add them to TR. You know, for TR you cannot, because cells can be merged, not rows. Right? We never merge the rows, or we never merge the columns. We have to merge cells. So definitely row span and call span used along with TD. Okay, so but you have to use them appropriately. Clear? So this is the one which I have to which I wanted to explain because that has many merge facility, right? Look here, you have one here, there is another one, two here, three, four. So you have four different cell merge. Two of them belong to the row span category. Another two belong to the col span category. Okay. Right, so these are the things related to table. If you are able to handle these things, it's enough. So look, things which are needed to or which need to be remembered about table are, first of all, you should know how to create a simple table, okay, with columns and rows, simple table. Maybe table with heading, that caption, that is second thing. Of course, you should be able to change the width of the table and height of the table. That is expected. Then the most important thing, this one, right? Merge the cells, merging vertically and horizontally. Okay, so these are the things about table. Right, look, so I don't want to do this in computer because you have to understand the method, right? Maybe the steps and the organization. So it may be the best way to understand, right? So if you have time, you can practice the coding in a text editor and see the output. Okay, for me, this is enough. Right, the next one, the table is over. So list and table are the two major parts which we have studied up to now, right? Okay, we have some maybe 30 minutes. Okay, I take another important thing here. Insert, okay, let's take that, inserting images. You know, a web page can have multimedia content, text, video, audio, images, right? Animations, there can be several things. So up to now, we have taken so many text related contents, paragraph, right, list, table, and some basic text, right? But now, for the very first time, I will take another content, another different content, which means a multimedia content, image. So as we know, images can be seen on web pages. You have experiences, right? Whenever you visit to a web page, there should be some images because images carry some meaning. So we can express a lot of things on images rather than using text. So images are very important, right? So let's insert an image. First of all, I will insert one image on a web page. But after that, we can modify that, right? Look here. So I just want to open the existing file and want to modify the coding because it takes time to write again. Okay. So everything has to be written in between the body tags, right? Starting and closing, right? Look, I want to insert an image which is in my computer hard disk. So maybe this one. See, there is an image called christmas.jpg. Christmas.jpg. So I need to insert this one on this web page. To insert an image on a web page, the tag is img, right? img. Listen to me. I have one question. Look, up to now we have used many attributes to tag or for element, right? Up to now, we used align for paragraph, right? For p tag, we used align. That is an attribute. Okay, this one. P align. Okay, P space align equal, there may be value, right? Maybe center. Okay, so this is one instance where we use attribute. Look at that OL type, Roman number I or something. So here also the type is an attribute that has been added to OL, element OL. Yes, of course, dual type. There we used square or something. Okay, here also we use type. Okay, but now we use table, right? Table, border. So not only this one, right? There may be so many instances where we can use attributes, but up to now we use some, but I mentioned only few examples here, right? Align, type, border. Of course, col span, row span, we use many things, right? Width, height, and cell spacing, cell padding, many. Look, attributes are added to the elements, but attributes are optional, right? Attributes are optional. Look here. If you use only P, only the tag P, definitely it works, right? You can get the paragraph. But we use this align in order to describe that one, or in order to give some additional meaning for the P. But P alone works, right? Look here, OL. If you use only OL without type, no one can say that it doesn't work. It definitely works. We have experiences, right? OL alone works. So now you can understand the fact that type is an optional thing. If you use type, yes, you can get some preferred result. But it doesn't mean the type, it doesn't mean that the type is must. No, type is an optional thing. Look here, border. Without border, definitely you can have the table. I have shown you, right? I have shown that one. Table is there without border. That's the thing. Look at that one, right? Width, height, right? Even what is it? That cell spacing, cell padding. They are optional. All of them are optional. So now you must get this idea, right? Attributes are optional. They are not must. But there are instances, maybe few instances, where attributes are very important for the element. In some instances, elements do not work without attributes. Okay, here element definitely works without attribute. OL, P, right? Table, dual, they all work. But only few instances, things are different, right? Attribute, maybe one attribute is very important. So it is a very important thing in HTML. Attributes are always optional, but in some instances, attributes are must, right? So this is one of the instances. Look here. So this IMG is useless until it has an attribute, right? So definitely an attribute is must here. So leave a space. The attribute here is SRC. SRC, which means source, right? Because here my source is image, right? SOURCE, source, but that is written as SRC. So IMG space SRC. So since attribute is written, it has to take the value, right? Equal the value. Here the value, you know, from time to time we have various values. When it comes to align, the value is center. When it is type in OL, the values are Roman number I, small a, capital A. Here, when it comes to this one, dual type, here square, disc, circle. So things are different. Here, pixel. Similarly, here, right here, the source, the value must be the path for your image, right? Path for your image. What does it mean? Path means the location, because your image can be found in a pen drive, maybe in a hard disk. Even, you know, your hard disk has partitions. We already discussed in grade 10. There may be more than one parts in the hard disk, local disk C, local disk D, local disk E. So you have to clearly show the path for your image to the browser, because browser is the one which has to display your image. So you should clearly instruct the path of the image to the browser. Okay, that is the value to be written. Look here. So in my computer, I think I explained this path when I explain about we discussed about path for the files earlier. Tell me where or when. I explained about how to write path of file in hard disk. So when did I explain?
In URLs.
Yes, good. So when we discuss about URL, I discussed about path for a file in the local computer, which means in our computer. I know you remember them, right? Look here. So now I have to write the path. Okay, have to write the path. So this is my image. Let me show that. This is my image. This is my image. Look, this image is in local disk E. Okay, this image is in local disk E. The image of the name of the image is christmas.jpg. This is the name. But note, this image is not saved in any folder. Okay, there is no folder created. It is directly saved in local disk E. You can see that, right? Folders are here. But when I open local disk E, I can find my file, so which simply means this file is not saved in any folder. So anybody, how to write the path now? If I ask anybody, you never answer, right? I have to point some people. Look here, wait. Hamsaini. What's the path? Tell me the path. I will show it again. My image is my image is in local disk E, right? Local disk E. The name of the image is christmas.jpg. Christmas.jpg. Tell me the path. Hamsaini.
Yes, local disk E, file name christmas.jpg.
Sanjiga.
Local disk E dot christmas.jpg.
Artana.
Yes, sir. Local disk E dot Christmas dot jp.
Lakshayani.
E semicolon / Christmas.jpg.
Wait 1 second. Repeat your answer. E colon or semicolon? Colon, right?
Colons.
Wait 1 second. Colon. Okay, continue. E colon.
/
Okay.
Christmas.
.jpg, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the path, but since it is a text, use the double quote, right? Inverted comma. Look here. You first of all you need to mention the drive letter. Don't say that it is local disk E. Maybe local disk E, but when you write, you cannot write local disk E. Write the letter, right? Drive letter. That is E, right? So E, smaller capital is not an issue. Then a colon, then a slash. Maybe backslash also works, right? You can try that. Then the file name. right? The image name. Look here, if you put, let's look, if you put, sorry. Look, if you put E:/, it means we are inside of E drive. Look at the cursor is in the inside of the slash, right? Which means now we entered into E drive. You know, in E drive, the image is there, right? In E drive, the image is there. So you can write Christmas.jpg. Save your file. That's it, right? So, okay, 1 second. This is also one of the empty tags. IMG is one of the empty tags. But what's the meaning of it?
Don't need to close.
Yes, it doesn't have any closing tag, right? It doesn't have any closing tag. IMG is one of the empty tags. So no need to close. You cannot close like this. This is wrong. Okay. Just save your work and go back to your file and see that. Wait 1 second. Right now you can see the picture, but it looks like big because the zoom size is increased. Look, this is the original size, default size. Okay, that is on the page now. Look at the coding again, it's very simple. IMG, that's the element. Here SRC is must equal, the value would be the path for the image. Okay, so we are in E drive, that image is in E drive, so E:/Christmas.jpg. Okay, look here. Now let's check that again. Now I want to insert another picture which is in local disk D. Okay, I open the local disk D. See, there is a folder called photos. In local disk D, there is a folder called photos. I open the photos. And there is a picture, this one, 345.jpg, 345.jpg. So let's insert this one. Let's insert this picture on my web page. Anybody? How to write the coding? Tell me the coding. Tell me the IMG SRC is okay. Equal, tell me the path. Give me the path.
D.
Huh?
D:.
Look at that location. Where is this file?
D.
Local disk D, right? Local disk D. So D. Then :/. So now what's the meaning? We have come to local disk D. But look, this image is not saved in local disk D directly, because this is saved in a folder called photos. Where is that photos? That is in local disk D. So now D:/, then the folder name. Okay, photos. Again a slash. So now if you put a slash here, it means you have come into the folder. Okay, so this 345.jpg is in photos, right? So now you can write the file name 345.jpg. If the path is incorrect, your browser never shows the image. So you must be very careful in writing the path correctly, right? So now I can save my file. And Look here, that image is displayed. Okay, so if I miss anything, so say I miss this path, I wrote like this. So now what happens? Look at that output. Now nothing shown. As an indicator, look, you can see that the, can you see this one? Wait 1 second. Now you can see a mark on the particular web page. So it is an indication that there will be an image, but that is not displayed. So you can see that image is corrupted or something. That, look at the icon, very small icon, but it looks like image, it's not shown, or it is broken. That's the reason why this kind of a small indication is displayed. So now whoever sees your web page could understand that there will be an image but not displayed, right? So now the reason for not showing the image is, so now what, look at the coding. You have written D345.jpg. So what happens now? Your browser goes to the D drive and try to find this file. It goes to the D drive and tries to find this 345.jpg. You know, in D drive, it is not there, right? It is, yes, it is in D drive, but it is inside of the folder. So, but browser searches this file on the D drive, right? So it searches here, and there is no file in the same name. That's why it doesn't show. So now you have to clearly mention that it is in photos folder. So this is the exact path. Okay. Now image is displayed, right? Look, when we create when we create web pages, we often save the images. Say I am creating a web page, and I know there should be many images to be uploaded to my web page. So definitely I have to save all these images in a single folder, right? Because I cannot keep the images here and there. I have to create a folder in the computer and save all the images, all the required images in it. That may be a good organization. Okay, look here now. Right, look here now. So my HTML file is home.html, right? This HTML file, the name of this HTML file is home.html. This is in a folder called grade 11 EM 2021. In this particular folder, home.html is there. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to save one of my images in the same folder. Okay, going to save my image in the same folder. So let's try that. I just want to copy one image. Okay, just want to copy one image here. Here. Just want to rename because that name looks big. So I just put 1, 2, 3. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Want to add this image 123.jpg to my web page. Okay, now IMG SRC, here the path is not required now. So you don't need to write the path now, because what happens now, both the home.html file, which means both your HTML coding and your image are in the same folder. So when both of them are in the same location, the path is not important, because the HTML coding is in this folder, right? Grade 11 English Medium 2021. So when you write the coding in the same folder, your browser can search the particular image in the same folder. So here there is no path needed. So if you write only the image name, it can find it. So here I can put 123.jpg. Have you understood? So here the whole path is not important because your HTML file and the image are in the same folder. Or even I can say in the same location, right? So here the path is not important. Even if you write the path, it accepts, right? It understands, but the path is not important. Look at that. I save my file and refresh. Now you can see that the image is very big, right? That's why you are unable to see that. Maybe some part of the image is displayed, right? The image is very big. The original size is displayed. We can decrease the width and height, but look at that. This image is very big. You can see the scroll bars, right? Both vertical scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar is activated because the image is too big. It depends on the image size, right? The original size is displayed. Okay, so this is also very important. There are instances where you don't need to write the whole path. Only the image name, which means that source name is enough. When HTML file and the image are in the same location. So when they are in the same location, no need for having the whole path. But when your HTML file is in one location and the image is in another location, then definitely the path is needed. Because your browser has to find your image in the hard disk. So there the path is important. But here, your browser easily comes to this folder, right? Grade 11 HEM 2021 and easily search that. It never goes outside. It searches only inside. And immediately, if it is found, it is displayed. Okay. So this is how an image is displayed, right? But look here, regarding images, we can do so many formatting. The one is obviously you can see now, look at the image size, it's too big. No one likes to have an image in this particular size. It's too big. So you can reduce the image size. Look, in order to reduce the image size, first of all, you should know the original size of the image, right? Original size of the image. So look here, if you want to see the original size of the image, just right click and click on the properties. And here, click on details, right? Details. I will zoom that, you can read it. Right now, right, look here. The width of this image is 3,207 pixels. What is it? Width. The height of the pixels is, height of this image is 1,696 pixels. Look at that, it's very big, right? So 3,207 pixels width and height 1,696 pixels. It's huge. Look here, I just want to explain one thing before I apply that. Look here. So assume this is a digital image. A digital image is made of small dots called pixels, right? Tiny dot, very small dot called pixel. So a digital image is made of by small dots. Dots are arranged horizontally or vertically, right? So say, so if I mention 1,000 pixel height, width and 500 pixels height, it means in one row, right? In one row, there should be 1,000 pixels. 1,000 pixel width, 500 pixel height. So 1,000 pixel width means in horizontal manner, you have 1,000 dots, 1,000 small dots in one row. Even in the next row also, there should be 1,000 small dots. Even in the next row also, 1,000 small dots. So like that, how many rows are there? See, the height is 500. Height 500 means there should be 500 rows. So in each row, there are 1,000 pixels, 1,000 dots. you have 500 rows. So altogether, you can simply say 1000, right, into 500, which means 500,000, right? So such amount of pixels are in the picture. Okay, this picture is made of with this amount of pixels. Clear? So I will explain about the image, maybe some pixels and other characteristics in unit number 4. But maybe for this unit, this is enough. A digital picture or digital image is made of small dots called pixels. Pixels are arranged vertically and horizontally. So here 1000 pixel width means in a particular row, you have 1000 dots. How many rows are there? You have to find the height there. So you have 500 dot in this manner. Okay, 500 manner. So which means you have 1000 pixels in one row. There are 500 rows there. Okay, so now according to this picture, around 3200 pixels width, right? And around 1600 pixels height. So you can easily change that, right? Let's say. So I just want to change the width of the image. So go inside and add an attribute called width. We have already used width. We have already used this width in table, right? For table also we have used the same attribute here also width equal. Give the width in pixel. The original is around 3000, right? Okay, let me give a small number 700. So now width equals 700. Leave a space. Of course, you can change the height too. So leave a space and add another attribute height. Okay, height equal, okay, let's say 300 or something. Okay, width equals 700. 700 means 700 dots, 700 pixels. Height 300 pixels. Let's save your work and see the output now. Now your image should be very small, right? So here, from here to here, right? From here to here, you have 700 dots. In this particular area, 700 dots. This is one row. Even in the next row also, you have 700 dots, right? In the next row also 700. These are very closer, right? But I just want to draw by leaving some spaces, but very closer. So how many rows are there? 300. Because height is 300, right? So in every row, you have 700 dots. There are 300 rows are there, right? Because height is 300. So if I write in this picture, this is 700. Okay, here 700. Here 300. So altogether 700 into 200 pixels are there. Okay, but look, when assume this is 1 second, right? Time is almost up, but I want to mention one thing. So assume this is the original image, 1000 pixels width and 500 pixels height. Okay, assume this is the original image. But now you want to reduce the size. Okay, reduce the width and height. So I just want to write img src. Okay, src, the source is there. Let me give a source like 123.jpg. Okay, and leave a space and width equal to, the original is 1000, but let's say I put 800 or something, and space height equal, let's say 450 or something. Look carefully. This is the original image with 1000 pixels, height 500 pixels. But I wanted to reduce the size. So I have written width 800, height 450. Yes, definitely it works, right? You can have the output on the screen, but this is not the right way, because look at that. In the original image, you have a ratio in between the width and the height. there is a ratio. See, 1000 pixels width, right? And 500 pixels height. The ratio between the width and the height is 2:1, right? 2:1. So even if you want to reduce the width and the height, you must keep the ratio, right? Don't change the ratio. So now what happens? Look here, I have reduced that reduced the width by 200, but the height by 50. So now look at that, the ratio is not 2:1. If I reduce like 800 to 400, then it's good. It's right. Look at 2:1 again. So if you have 1000 and 500, yes, you can reduce that 800, 400, or even 500 to 50. That is fine. See, 2:1. That's fine. But if you don't keep the ratio, definitely your picture doesn't look good, because see, sometimes you decrease the width in a little margin, but height in a very big margin. Now the picture is not good. Okay, I can show you one here. Look here. One more second. Say 700 is okay width, and height, I just want to put like maybe height 200. So width 200 and height 600 or something. So look at this one. This never looks good. Look at that. The picture is not good, because what happens now? The height is reduced by a little margin, but width is reduced by big margin. Look at that. Width is very small, but height reduced in a very little manner. So this picture doesn't look good. So whenever you change the width and the height, make sure the original ratio is maintained. If it is affected, definitely you have problem. Okay, so we can continue, but definitely you should understand these things, right? But still there are some attributes to be added for IMT. Okay, so that's it for. All right, so see you next time. Thank you.